All right, welcome everybody to our grand finale. We're all come together to feast in
In the Great Hall.
celebration. Yes, it's the end of our Wizarding World series as you know it. We got a little two different videos we're gonna do to round everything out. It's just going away, um, as our going away party, and
I'm
so
going away.
first we're gonna do a Wizarding World tier list, which will include the 8 Harry Potter movies and the 3 Fantastic Beasts movies.
Yeah.
Return to Hogwarts, of course, the 20th anniversary special would be at the very top, the best of them all. And you know that. You know that already.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, it was fine. It's just hard to really rate, really, And it was like,
Yeah. Is Return to Hogwarts better than Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, let me pull it up here.
So I like how they used the most movie posters of them. Like these are all the ones that I remember seeing
Right.
up in places. First one I don't actually really remember seeing that way. I seem to remember the first one. I actually more remember the art that was done by the same guy that did I think, I don't quote me on this, but I believe the art for the first poster was done by the same sort of person that did the art for the classic 80s and 90s films, like Star Wars stuff. Like he did a lot of those. I don't remember the artist's name. I could be wrong about that too. But it was done in a style that is very similar to that.
Yeah.
This just used a bunch of the it's just the actors.
Alright, so we're going to rank them all. If you're new to the channel, go back. I have a playlist with all of our Wizarding World videos so far. A nice long series where we went back and watched them week by week, going through them all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to definitively rank them. Here we go. All right. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay.
I mean, it's
I'm feeling.
I would do A.
I'm feeling A or B. Like A or B. I mean, it's great. It's a great movie. I think it's a great start to the movies. I will also just say I actually really love the I seriously love the movie poster for Prisoner of Azkaban and also for Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix is one that I talked about before. About having a cool movie poster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if I talked about that in the review or just with you off recording. But I love that movie poster. But anyway.
The Sorcerer's Stone is so magical. I found it it's so lovely, and I think it's gonna get overlooked time and time again for what it actually did and how it set the groundwork for everything to come.
I think it still made the most. I think it may have made the most box office out of any of them. Maybe. Wow. I could be wrong on that.
That would be surprising.
But
it really pulls you in, though. It pulls you into the world in such an effective way, in my opinion. I would say an A for sure.
I'm leaning towards B, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
now here's the thing: are we doing it? Are we doing our defined list? I mean, because I have the tier list up.
Yes, because they're only going to see mine. Unless you want mine to be the definitive edition, then.
I mean, I guess we'll both be the definitive edition. It doesn't matter, I guess, all that much. Yeah.
We've got to compromise. All
right. Well, we'll stick it in A.
Yeah, I'm more towards S than B. So that's.
Okay, I'm more towards B than A, but I think A seems to fit. I guess for right now. We'll figure it out as we keep going. There's not too many movies, so this shouldn't necessarily take that long.
Mm-hmm. No, it shouldn't.
I do agree with you that the first movie should get a lot of credit for starting the whole thing. I mean, if the movie wasn't good and people didn't like it, then we wouldn't have seen more. But
it's a feel-good movie. You get some great moments in there.
Feels like a Christmas movie. Which is why they put, even though that's these first two, but particularly the first one, especially feels like a Christmas movie. But
the 25 Days of Christmas on ABC Family.
Yeah. Oh man, the ABC Family back before they changed their stupid name to Freeform.
Yeah, right.
ABC Family, a new kind of family. I remember that guy's voice. It always kind of pissed me off a little bit.
All
And the
right.
Harry Potter movie marathon. All right.
The
Anyway,
Chamber of Secrets.
B for me, I think.
C for me. This
C?
this is my
Really?
this is my lowest rated Harry Potter. Harry
That's
Potter property.
wild to me. That's wild to me. I think watching it again and going through it again with you did really kind of point out to me just how not very good Daniel Radcliffe is in this movie. Like he's way better in the first one than he is in this movie, and
He's
that does kind of
just
suck
a
because
boy.
it takes the wind out of the sails a little bit with the movie. But
Hmm.
I love Chamber Secrets. This is one of my favorite like plots. I remember being so gripped by it when I was a kid, reading it for the first time, and I was just like, wow, like because I'd seen Sorcerer's Stone, and then I read the book after. But I started reading all the books before Chamber of Secrets came out. So the movie. So that was just crazy to me. Like the books were already starting to get darker. We had like the really kind of creepy stuff going on in it with the snake moving throughout the pipes. It's just like this to me is the one. They are all mysteries, right? I think we've talked about that, but this one in particular is like the most very obvious. Like I am a mystery story because they
Hmm.
just have all these disparate pieces that then sort of like mesh together, meld together at the end, and boom, we get the. I mean, Hermione even says at the end, "Congratulations! I can't believe you solved it." Like it feels like a detective story at the end. She's like, "I can't believe you solved it." It's like okay, and it does. It feels like piecing all these parts together, the mystery of Harry's past, why he can speak parcel tongue, and all that sort of stuff. So
Hmm.
there's a lot that I love about the story. I will say that it's weird to say that Daniel Radcliffe's performance holds it down a little bit, but I will also say the score of Chamber of Secrets gets some bonus points because it's basically the same score as Philosopher's Stone, only better because it has better themes added to it, as well as all the old themes from the first movie. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
but
here's what I'll say. I think it should be in C because we're gonna be very
see
top heavy.
For Chamber of
Yeah,
Secrets.
we're gonna be very top heavy. All right, and I think a certain movie coming up in a couple of movies, I would have it higher, and I'll also bring that one down and I'll put it below this one. But
Okay,
I think this one should be in C at least. Because I think all the other Harry Potters are gonna be above it.
it
And
probably
to
will.
have them all in the top three
I
tiers.
don't know about all of the
Well, all
next
the other
ones.
ones. Yeah, all the other
Not
ones,
all
but
the
the
other
one I
ones.
mentioned.
Yeah, I bet the one you mentioned. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So let me
I'll,
see.
I'll live with it. I'll live with it in C for now.
C for Chamber.
Hmm.
All right, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
This is easy S tier for me. This is just easy S tier. I love this movie.
Hmm.
I've made no secret that I believe this is probably the best film, not necessarily adaptation or whatever you call it, but I think this is probably the best made movie of all of them. I think it just hits all of the perfect thematic beats. The acting, they've really come into their own in terms of the acting. You have some of the best supporting cast in this particular installment with David Thewlis and Gary Oldman showing up. Timothy Spall shows up. I mean, you just have an amazing supporting cast. Um,
Yeah.
Fudge gets more chance to shine here too. What's his name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The guy who plays Fudge. We'll just go with that because I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Um, yeah, everyone's just like ups their A game already. And just like the change in production design, everything just feels right. Like this movie makes everything feel like this is Hogwarts, like for the first time. It's not necessarily saying the other two didn't, but really
Right.
comes into its own, I think, as a consistent franchise, I think. So
It's very tonally different, for sure.
hmm.
It was the both. It
Yeah,
was
definitely.
definitely. It was the first one we were both like, you know, definitely in agreement. It's like
Yeah.
stands head and shoulders above the rest. So I would say
Yeah.
S. But I think we'll have a couple others that could also be an S though. So we'll
Yeah,
see how it
I
goes.
agree. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I love this movie. I
I know
loved
you
it.
I know you do. I know you do. You're its biggest proponent. Actually, I think Ryan from Otaku Brothers might
Ryan
be the
loves it.
biggest proponent cuz yeah, I think Ryan said this is his favorite movie. And I'm like of the Harry Potter films. And I was like, "Why?
His
Why is this your
favorite,
favorite?
top
Why
tier.
is it your favorite? I can't believe it. It's like how can this be anyone's favorite?" But hey, man, everyone's got their own tastes, their own opinions. I don't know.
uh,
I this is a solid D for me. This is a D.
D.
I would not shove it down into F because I don't think it's because like I even said while we were reviewing it, I liked it a lot more going back into it than I remembered.
So fun.
I still didn't think it was great, but it's just the long hairs. That's it. That's my long hair right now. It's just like
Yeah, so
I'm rocking my Goblet of Fire look at the
this is Harry
moment.
Potter long hair. It is Harry Potter
Yeah.
long hair edition. But I mean it would be high much higher for me obviously. But
Yeah.
I would say that I could comfortably put it in C behind Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
I think that's a reasonable place to put it.
Even though I like it better.
Yeah, I will compromise and put it there. I think it's belongs squarely in D, but yeah, I can go bottom of C.
All right. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
This is a film that I like quite a lot.
Yes.
Um, is it is enough to get into A? That's the only thing that I'm thinking. I really like this movie quite a bit.
Oh, definitely. I'd say it's
Um,
definitely A.
I think it's A. I definitely wouldn't put it in S. I think there's a few other movies that definitely go that way, but I don't know if I would put it ahead of Sorcerer's Stone though if it's going in A.
Really. I think I
I'm not
would.
sure.
I think I would. And I don't know. I just think there's so much. We both, when we were talking about it, I remember us loving so much about it. And
It
I
really
remember, I
does.
remember, no, I remember going into the review. I was like, wasn't exactly sure where I would place it, but then after coming out of it, was like, I had a lot more appreciation after breaking down all the things I liked about it.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it's like yeah. Now that I'm sort of starting to replay it again. Yeah, I feel like I had more. I feel like I had more to like talk about it, about how much just I appreciate about it, like the scene, like particularly the scene at the end, the possession scene, which I still say is like one of the best scenes, maybe across the whole franchise. I think it's wonderful. Where he breaking the mirror to like get it, basically, kind of like, I yeah. There's so much about that scene that's great and powerful. Um,
Right.
the does doing a spectacular job of distilling the longest book in the series into what was one of the shortest movies of the franchise at the time, but still able to get all of the most important bits of that book and make it feel like right. Rebellion and isolation. Those are like the two biggest themes of the book, and it does it so well. I think it was one of the first times I realized when I was watching it this time, like how the beginning of the movie is literally setting that theme of isolation up immediately, and it just sort of feeds into the rest of the movie, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think A.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say top of
easily.
A. I would say
Yeah,
top of A.
yeah. I think I
The
agree
only
with you.
detractors being Goppy, um, and the
No, yeah,
the
that's a little weird.
the
Yeah,
stiff kiss was also
The stiff kiss.
But dude, it gave us Luna Lovegood though, so
It
you
gave
gotta
us
give it up.
it gave us Luna Lovegood, and yeah, that was the fun thing about that we learned. I don't know if we talked about that in the Return to Hogwarts, but where she talked about how she had a correspondence with J.K.
Yeah.
Rowling before she auditioned. So I thought that was kind of a cool little thing.
Mhm.
Um,
That
that
was cool. All right,
yeah.
so top of A there. I
Hmm.
already visualized the whole tier list right now. I know exactly where to put everything,
Okay.
but we'll see how it
Okay.
goes. Harry
Okay.
Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, top of S, right? It's the
I
best.
I think so. I think it has to go there. This is my favorite
This is the
book.
best. As much as
Might
it
be my
bothers me,
favorite
the
movie.
title on this movie poster and how they
Oh
did
yeah,
that.
isn't that wild? I kind of love it, but it's really kind of
It's
thinking about it, it's really stupid.
Yeah, like I get it,
How
but
they
it's like it really bothers me, especially next to all these other ones where you can very clearly see the title, and so this one just cropped all the way out. It's Poe.
yeah.
But this movie's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's again distilling themes of a book that's very long down into a thing. I know a lot of people complain that they focus too much on the romance and not enough on the memories, right? Because the memories are a huge part of the book. There's two or three more memories that we don't see, but it's like in a book you can kind of get away with that. In a movie, you have to handle the pacing. You
Yeah.
can't just have memory scene and then a love scene and then memory scene and a love scene. It doesn't really work. Like that pacing would feel completely lopsided. You have to spend time on the characters developing romantically because that's such a big part of this book. They're 16 and um, you know, hormones are flying as if they weren't flying already. Now here it's like they're getting older. They're getting towards the end of their education, so they're feeling like there's almost more pressure for them to pair off at that point.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, it's they. I think they do a wonderful job of incorporating that. I know you're not the biggest Draco stan, but I think that this movie
Hmm.
does the best possible job of making him a sympathetic character. I think they do a better job in the movie than I feel like they do in the book of making him sympathetic.
Right.
Um, because we spend a lot of time with him, and I love that. I love that we do that. They do that. Because I feel like it would have fallen a little flatter if we didn't have that. So, um,
There's so
yeah.
many great moments in this movie too. Like when he takes the
Mm,
potion and you got Harry's whole fun personality from that. It's like, sir.
yeah. Oh yeah. Sah! Yeah. Tiki Felix releases. Cinematography to rival Prisoner of Azkaban. Also, that there's shots in this movie that like stick in my brain for like when I think of beautiful shots of cinema. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is actually pretty high up there. The scene where they're burying Aragog, amazing shot. The scene of Harry and Dumbledore atop the astronomy tower, amazing shot. I love that. The sort of slow mo of them all raising their wands, fantastic editing decision. Yeah, there's a lot of the them on the astronomy tower at the end too. Harry, Ron, and Hermione. That's amazing. That looks fantastic.
Right.
The shot of the train at the beginning of the movie, the train going by, and Dumbledore being there, like after the last car passes, super cool. Yeah, there's just it's just chock full of really imagery that sticks to me at least. I know it probably isn't the same for everybody, but I know there's a lot in it that stands out to me. So
Yeah.
uh,
And I think it is the best Harry Potter movie overall.
yeah,
I just Yeah, and I have no problem saying that.
yeah,
So, all right. Harry
cool.
Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1.
So there's another film that's I think is very high for me. It's very high for me. Um,
Right. I would say very high as well. I don't know if it would be quite S tier for me. Maybe top of A tier, though.
it's like teetering bottom of S, top of A for me.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
There are some great moments though. I love how tonally it's like another shift almost, like
Oh,
Order of the
totally. Yeah.
Phoenix, or I mean like Prisoner of Azkaban was,
Yeah.
and it's like it feels like such a different movie. You're not in Hogwarts, like
Hmm.
it's completely different, and you got those moments between Harry and Hermione and Ron and stuff like that. You know, like a classic dancing scene, and
Yep. The dancing scene. I'm glad. Let me tell you. Yeah. Again, the Return to Hogwarts. So glad they brought that up because I love that they said that's like one of their favorite scenes
mm,
of the whole series too. Because I kind of agree. I remember it
yeah,
being very kind of a hot button thing in the fandom when that movie first premiered. People didn't really like it, and other people did. I've always loved it, but yeah, I'm glad that they as actors really liked it too. So
yeah. I mean
that's good.
this had the whole sequence, the tale of the three brothers that I really
Yeah,
liked too. It was
that's
so good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that boy, yeah. There's just so much. To me, it's like they have all of the bits that you, particularly these last two movies. I know people that were sticklers for you got to have the adaptations, got to have everything that's in the book or all the information in the book, and this did like I was shocked at how well like how many bits of the book were in there. Like the Rufus Scrimgeour scene of him coming and bequeathing them the Dumbledore's stuff. Like all the like lines taken straight out of the book. Um
Right.
like even Ron being like, "What, you never heard Babbity Rabbity?" Like, Babbity, come on. Babbity Rabbity? Um stuff like that. But again, also some of the more original stuff like them like the cafe. Love that scene. Another great scene.
Yeah.
Going to number 12 Grimmauld Place, having Creature and Dobby, also having Mundungus Fletcher, he almost wasn't necessary. He's in the movie for like two, three scenes. He is in earlier books, so it was kind of like, oh, we're bringing him in now. Okay, cool. You know.
I mean,
So having like,
Dobby was redeemed. Yeah, full on.
yeah, I'm trying to think of there was like one other thing that I wanted to talk about too, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, another thing that was changed. And it's something that I really like as a change. Was having Harry and Hermione go to Godric's Hollow at Christmas or on Christmas Eve, and they were themselves. In the book, they were using Polyjuice Potion. They were just like some random couple,
Yeah.
like an elderly couple or something, and that's it was like they were themselves. And even Harry says like, "I love the line." It almost feels like it almost feels like it's a little bit of a jab for her writing it that way in the book, but he's like, no, like this is where I was born. You know, I don't want to be here as anyone else. I was like, oh, okay. This is tough.
You know, I wouldn't have a problem putting a bottom of S tier.
I think bottom of S. I think bottom of S is a props.
It's the probes.
Yeah.
It's the probes. And this next one, I'm Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I'm just saying there's a nice spot sitting there open. Maybe waiting
I was
for
gonna
it.
I was gonna say the same thing. I
So
think we did talk about how it doesn't quite stick the landing as well as we would like. Still a great movie. Still enjoy
yeah.
pretty much the whole thing. It's a good conclusion.
It's just kind of safe. You know, it's like a safe
Yeah, it's safe.
ending.
It is safe. Yeah.
Which is, you know, like I said in that movie, it's kind of what I would hope to have that for a movie series this long, rather than like take a risk and potentially ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know? But
But I
was
still feel like
the ending that you mentioned. I feel like
that would have
better.
been risky, and I think it would have been beautiful
Yeah.
because the ending in the book is beautiful. I love it, but yeah, you gotta kind of go with a safe Hollywood style ending, I guess.
I
So.
get that in Return to Hogwarts, they mentioned the director mentioned he liked the idea of him pulling him down with him
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that. But yeah, it's just pretty safe. You know, we both went into that review saying it's pretty good. It's pretty good,
yeah,
and a pretty good Harry Potter movie still B.
yeah.
But
I mean, I do still tear up during the Resurrection Stone scene. That's gets me every time.
Hmm.
Got me in the book too. So good stuff.
Yeah, and so that's all the Harry Potters. Now it's time to get
Yeah.
into Fantastic Beasts.
And it's a little. So we got some spots here to fill.
Some spots to fill. All right.
So
Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I think it's the
This is
bottom
like-
of a C.
Oh, I was gonna say it's B. This is like bottom of B for me.
B?
I know.
There's
I
no
like
way.
it. I'm
Look-
like the only Fantastic Beasts.
I liked
Top
it.
of C?
I liked it, but I think every Harry Potter movie is still better than it.
Yeah. Okay. So I draw the line at Goblet of Fire. I
You
think
draw
this is
the-
a better. I think it's better than Goblet of Fire.
That's disrespectful.
I would say that. It is not disrespectful.
Mm.
It's the truth. Maybe it is a little
It's
disrespectful.
Newt Scamander bias, and you're forgetting what's his name? Godric.
What?
Cedric. What's his name?
Cedric Diggory? What?
Yes.
Oh, are we talking about? His little pick?
Oh
I
no,
forgot.
no, that's
I forgot.
Pickett.
Pickett. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
that one
you totally
when we
did.
were reviewing it, I was like, "What? So what do you say?"
But I'm just remembering, in the Triwizard tournament, we got introduced to this lovely Cedric there. So that's
Played by the
something.
wonderful Robert Pattinson,
the wickedly
It's
talented
true.
one and only.
the wickedly talented, the best Batman. Don't at me.
I'm not beating around the bush. All three of these Fantastic Beasts are gonna fall in line, boom, 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 right at the end of this thing.
I think it's okay. You know what? I will give you that, if only because of Cedric Diggory. Yeah.
In Cedric's
Because-
name, amen.
Because well, hold on, we get Robert Pattinson as a lifting it up, but then we got probably David Tennant's worst performance as an actor,
Yeah,
which is really, I mean, that does drag it down.
right.
I love David Tennant. I think he's wonderful in everything
But
except
Fantastic
this.
Beasts has Tina, so.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, bottom of C. I still love it. I'm the only proponent of this movie. I feel
I
like,
enjoyed it.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about its siblings.
Okay, well,
Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes
talk
of
about-
Grindelwald.
there's a certain Netflix show that Bill Burr is a part of. Do you know what it was like?
No.
It's an animated series. Do you know what it's called?
No.
F is for Family.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I think that's where this goes.
Surely. I mean, this is the easiest F.
Yeah, this is an F. You could also call this the L tier. This is the biggest L.
They bungled it. I mean, they completely bungled it in
Yeah.
the last two movies. Notice how everything's
Yeah.
C and up, which is extraordinary for a series this long.
Yeah.
Everything's at least
I
a
think so.
C is at the minimum.
Yeah, and honestly, being perfectly honest, we're being maybe a little critical on Chamber and Goblet a little bit. Like on other maybe other lists, I might bump them both up to B.
Right.
Like, so
But yeah, Crimes
Yeah.
of Grindelwald really
yeah.
butchered it. Look how many characters are on this.
I know, that's what I mean. That was with the DVD menu. There's like, I was like, oh my god, there's like 9 characters. I was like, there's only 3 of them returning from the previous movie.
It's like try to name 3 challenge.
Name 3. I bet you won't. You won't.
It's like, who's that guy on the top left? Oh. That's Dumbledore.
That's Dumbledore? What? Okay.
Doesn't look like him. Alright.
I don't. Why do you not have Grindelwald in the center? It's called the Crimes of Grindelwald. I know Newt Scamander is your protagonist,
Right.
but it's called the Crimes of Grindelwald. When you have
I
him
don't
like
mind
doing
it.
some sort of like,
Yeah, I guess so. Well, because they knew they wasn't going to be in the next one, so it would draw too much
they
attention.
knew. They
They
just
had a
knew
feeling.
right then. They had a feeling already. The Amber Heard had already been making some rumblings.
So, yeah, we
Um,
talk a lot about it in that review. There's just so much to criticize with how they handled that movie and all the characters that it's too much and it's messy.
So much to scratch your head about. It's everything. Yeah, everything about it just feels wrong.
And it's Fantastic Beasts only in name and not in practice. It's like
Yeah,
barely any
pretty
beasts.
much.
And it's hardly fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, The Secrets of Dumbledore, is that going to go right in that open spot?
I think it'll go in that open spot. The Secrets of Dumbledore. D for Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely better. than Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
It's easily better, but it's still weighed down. It if the Crimes of Grindelwald wasn't so awful, this could have been much better. I feel like, but it was still held down by that baggage. Still held down by the baggage of the previous movie,
Yeah,
because
for
they had to have all of those bits and pieces, like Queenie being the way she is, and then like basically ignoring the ending of the Crimes of Grindelwald and be like, yeah, okay, he's Aurelius Dumbledore, but he's kind of sucks still. So, and he's dying now. So
And
whatever.
as we talked through it, I actually kind of went down on it because we realized how much we did not care about anything. It was like, oh, I don't care about that.
Apathy. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like. I actually went back and listened to that review
Yeah.
recently, and that was a lot. That was actually, I had a lot of fun talking about how apathetic. I left the theater being like, yeah, I guess this is all right, but I just
Yeah.
don't really care all that much.
Look, I'd have no problem taking points away from a movie. It's like, okay, on paper, it's like an okay plot.
Yeah.
But like, if I don't care about anything really, I have no problem bringing that down. Like, it's
Yeah.
practically an F just for that alone.
It is. It kind
really
of is,
like
but
I never would have watched this movie if we weren't doing this series.
yeah, you probably would have seen Crimes of Grindelwald and be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
I maybe even would have stopped after Fantastic Beasts because it really.
Yeah, because you were like, it's okay, but
It's okay.
you're not like the biggest fan. Well, I mean, talking with Lauren, she said that that's the only one that she's seen, and I was like, don't watch the other ones.
Yeah, you don't need
It's
to.
just like,
You watch
that's
Crimes
fine. You
of
don't need to waste your
Grindelwald,
time.
and then it's like, what am I doing here? Things are happening.
What am I
I'm
doing?
dissociating.
Yeah,
But
things are happening. Oh yeah. Well, we're talking about, because I think we talked about like how the earlier movies had perfect pacing, right? They didn't feel bogged down. They weren't bogged down by details.
Yeah.
This felt like, I think I said this in a review. Crimes of Grindelwald in particular felt like J.K. Rowling was trying to write a book, not a screenplay. It would have worked better as a book because you could have all those details and explain that and flesh that out. But instead, she was writing a book and trying to cram it into like 2 hours. And it just does not work because you cannot have the same. A book can have a much different pacing, much slower pacing, much more info dump pacing because of the nature of text and the nature of words, the nature of language and understanding that a movie can have. A movie needs to hold your attention span, and for you to be just scratching your head throughout the whole thing trying to figure out like what's going on and why characters are doing things, like at least in Secrets of Dumbledore, you understand why everyone's motivation for everything.
and
For the most part.
And the fact that this is supposed to be 5 movies, this was almost the best outcome. Is that we did not get those other 2 movies. That sounds like torture to me. 2 more.
Isn't that sad? It's so sad. It had potential.
Yeah.
I like bottom of C, but like it's still pretty good. It has a lot of potential. I still telling you, the movies building up to a Grindelwald confrontation with Dumbledore and him, building up to that, but having the movies be like road trip movies, basically, of Newt Scamander going to a new place and dealing with Fantastic Beasts there, and then but there's rumblings of serious stuff going on. Would have been so much better.
And him and Kowalski, they had a fun dynamic, It would have been fun to see more. But I was just gonna say all of our C tier and up all got a practically our Tarqaron stamp of approval, at least a 7.5 and up.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a stellar record. We've overall with this tier list we made kind of like an F almost if we had one more at the top it would be an F shape.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
tier.
I see that. Yeah.
So is that it? That's our definitive Wizarding World tier list.
Honestly, I thought maybe the further we went on, we might have to shuffle it around a little bit. But like, I think this is right.
It looks good. It looks good to me.
This feels right to me. I feel like this reflects our sort of what we talked about in the reviews a lot too. So
yeah, there you have it.
Yeah.
Wizarding World films ranked.
There they are.
And I don't see another one coming out anytime soon to interrupt this or interfere with this.
No, I feel like I'm curious as to like what the general consensus of like the fan base is for a lot of these. I
Hmm.
I have to imagine Goblet of Fire is not terribly I feel like most people would share my opinion in the fandom, but like I don't know. Ryan's a really big Harry Potter fan. That's his favorite movie. I don't know.
I think the
So
top. Most people probably would agree with the top at the very least.
I would think so. I think those are the best made movies. I think,
Hmm.
and I feel like they're the most like yeah. I
Yeah,
feel like
and I haven't heard the
people
most
would have
opinions,
to.
but I've heard some people share my opinion of Chamber of Secrets having it on the lower end too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, Fantastic
Is it because it like
Beasts.
feels? Is it because it feels a little bit more of a retread, or from the first one? Like it almost feels like the same movie again. Like just in terms
I
of
don't
like
know. Yeah, it felt like a little bit of the magic was lost there.
yeah, weirdly, which is wild to say because we also have Gilderoy Lockhart in that one.
Yeah.
Who was one of my favorites. I love him. He's
Right.
such a dick.
And I didn't like him as much, so.
I know.
So it's
um,
interesting, yeah, the Fantastic Beasts being at the bottom, it's like I don't hear anyone talk about Fantastic Beasts. That's almost part of
no.
the problem, so.
Yeah, I'm like the biggest advocate you know, and even I'm like, yeah, it's like it's fine.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well.
but the only one I want to really talk about is the first one anyway. I don't have much to say about the other two other than they were bad and baffling.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's like, um, yeah,
Well, that's it. That's the end of our series. Basically, we're gonna have one more video after this.
yep,
It's gonna be a little bonus video where I'm gonna be putting Alec to the test with some Harry Potter Trivial Pursuit
that's right.
question.
I'm a Potterhead, so here we go. We gotta. I really test my knowledge. We get test. We get a. Well, I'll open the video to tell a little bit of an anecdote about some of my Harry Potter sticklerishness. So,
And then
but yeah,
we also have another Harry Potter themed thing planned within the next coming weeks as well, if that goes through, which it should. We'll have that within the next month or so. You know, it might not be like right in line, but it'll still be a Harry Potter related video. So
it'd be good.
still more to look
Good to
forward to. All right. Oh, and we're also gonna do on the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast. We're gonna do our little sorting hat quiz to find out what house we would be on definitively as well.
So we are saying goodbye to Harry Potter, at least the films, but we do still have a little more things, a little more magic to spread before all is said and done here. So you can look forward to more of that coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, it's been the year defined by Harry Potter at this point.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's been a great time.
It's been great revisiting these. I think I'm trying to remember. It might have been 2018, 2019 when I last rewatched all of these with my parents. So and then we obviously didn't do Fantastic Beasts after that because the last one wasn't even out yet. So
Right.
but
But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out our video of us ranking all the Shrek movies. Okay.
let's do it.
Yeah.
That's a fun episode. That was a fun little video we did. So yeah.
And then who knows when the next movie series will be. We're definitely going to take a significant break from that because it takes up a slot for like several months, especially like a series as long as this. So it's a big undertaking.
Yeah, we didn't even know if we were going to throw Fantastic Beasts in to begin with,
Yeah.
and then we were like, we're feeling it. We're like, let's keep it going.
And then it's like,
Yeah, it kind of ends it off with kind of a, and I knew that was going to happen. It was going to be like kind of takes the wind out of the sails a little bit, but the rest of the nice to come back to it again and have more positive spin and like look how good all those movies are.
yeah, and be able to have a full perspective of it. There's no question marks after this tier list here.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, and if you do, we'll be sure to read it in the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast. All right. Click the link in the description for our social media and hit that notification bell.
Yeah.
All right.